life is about to change. Right now, even when everything feels impossible, God is already working in ways you can't see. What looks like silence is actually preparation for a breakthrough that will transform your pain into purpose and your struggles into strength. This is not the end of your story, it's the turning point. The moments when everything feels hardest are often the moments right before everything changes. History has shown that those who hold on to faith during their darkest times experience the most extraordinary victories. Your challenges are not here to defeat you. They are here to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. In this video, we'll uncover why you must never give up. Stay with us, because this message holds the answers you've been searching for. Your moment of transformation is closer than you think. Chapter 1. God has already begun to act where you cannot see. There is a divine power at work in your life right now, even if you can't see it. Faith is not built on what is visible, but on the assurance that something greater is unfolding beyond your perception. Just like seeds grow in the soil long before they break through the surface, the answers to your prayers are germinating in unseen places. Hold on to hope. What you believe to be silence is, in fact, God preparing the impossible for you. It's easy to feel forgotten when life presents endless challenges. You might question if your prayers are being heard or if your struggles serve any purpose. But let this message renew your confidence. Every obstacle, every closed door is part of a grander plan designed to refine you, strengthen your spirit, and lead you to a transformation you cannot yet imagine. God doesn't abandon you in the dark. He uses it to shape the light that will illuminate your path forward. Your story is not stagnant. It's in motion. Each moment of waiting and uncertainty is a chapter in a narrative that leads to a powerful climax. Inspiration often comes from recognizing that progress is being made, even when it's invisible. Trust that the gears of divine intervention are turning. This trust is not passive. It is a bold act of faith that empowers you to keep moving, even when you're surrounded by doubt. The impossible may seem distant, but remember, God specializes in miracles. He turns brokenness into beauty, pain into purpose, and waiting into fulfillment. What you can't see today will become the testimony of your tomorrow. Challenges are not meant to destroy you. They're designed to develop your inner strength. This strength becomes a testimony of hope for others facing similar trials. So let this truth settle in your heart. God has already begun to act where you cannot see. Hold on to faith, cling to hope, and let inspiration guide you through the darkness. You are not walking this path alone. Behind every delay and every closed door lies the promise of a breakthrough. What seems hidden is not absent. It is being prepared to exceed your expectations. Chapter 2. I know it feels difficult, but God knows the weight you carry. There's a heaviness in your heart that no one else seems to understand. The silent battles you fight every day might feel overwhelming, and the world often overlooks the depth of your struggle. But let me remind you of this. God sees you. He knows the weight pressing on your shoulders, and He is not indifferent to your pain. Your challenges are not invisible to Him, and every tear you shed carries purpose. When life feels relentless, it's easy to believe you're walking this path alone. The sleepless nights, the moments of doubt, and the constant questioning, why me, can make even the strongest spirit falter. But faith calls us to remember that God is closest to us in our most fragile moments. The burdens you carry are not a sign of defeat, but a step in the journey of transformation. Every difficulty you face is shaping a story of hope and resilience. It's important to acknowledge your emotions. Feeling tired or defeated doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. God's promise isn't that the journey will be easy, but that you will never have to face it alone. In every challenge, there's a thread of divine support weaving strength into your spirit. This strength isn't just for survival. It's for the purpose of building something far greater than you can currently imagine. The weight you carry is not meaningless. Picture it as a bridge connecting you to your next chapter. With every step forward, you're growing stronger, even when you feel like you're standing still. Trust that the difficulties you endure are refining your character and fortifying your faith. They are leading you toward a breakthrough that will validate every ounce of effort and perseverance you've invested. Inspiration often emerges when we realize that pain is a passage, not a destination. While the road ahead may seem uncertain, know that God's presence is unwavering. He's preparing you for a moment of redemption that will bring clarity to every unanswered question. Hope is the anchor that keeps you steady, and trust is the key to unlocking the strength within. So, when the days feel long and the nights even longer, remind yourself, God knows the weight you carry, and He is working to lighten your load. Take heart in the knowledge that your struggles are not unnoticed, your pain is not wasted, and your story is far from over. Chapter 3. Your tears are not in vain. Every struggle has a divine purpose. There is a sacred truth about pain. It is never wasted. Every tear you've cried, every moment of heartbreak, and every struggle you've endured carries a significance that only God fully understands. Your trials are not random. They are threads in a divine tapestry being woven for your life. Even though it may feel like your suffering has no meaning, each moment of hardship is a step toward a purpose far greater than what you can presently see. Tears are often seen as a sign of weakness, but they are a testament to your strength and resilience. They reflect the depth of your battles and the courage it takes to keep moving forward despite the odds. God does not overlook a single tear you shed. Instead, He gathers them as evidence of your faith and determination. Each drop is a prayer, a declaration of trust that even in your darkest moments, you believe in something greater than yourself. Your challenges are not punishments, they are preparation. Much like a diamond is forged under intense pressure, your character and faith are being refined through adversity. The weight you carry is shaping you into a person who can overcome even greater challenges and embrace even greater blessings. These struggles are the foundation of your transformation, strengthening your inner fortitude and deepening your trust in God's plan. It's hard to see purpose in pain when you're in the midst of it, but trust this: no effort, no tear, no sacrifice is ever in vain. Each struggle is a piece of the story God is writing for you, one that will inspire others to believe in the power of hope, faith, and perseverance. Your life is not just about surviving hardships. It's about rising above them and becoming a beacon of light for those still in the shadows. Think of your struggles as seeds planted in the soil of your life. They may be hidden now, buried under layers of uncertainty and doubt, but with time, they will grow into something beautiful and impactful. Your tears are watering those seeds, nurturing a future that will bring meaning to every trial you've faced. So, let your heart be comforted in this truth. Your tears are not in vain. They are a testament to your faith, a reflection of your hope, and a promise of the transformation that lies ahead. Hold on to this purpose. It's what will carry you through and lead you to the victory God has prepared for you. Chapter 4. The moment of victory is always preceded by God's silence. Silence is one of life's most challenging tests. When the world feels still and heaven seems distant, doubt can creep into your heart. You may wonder if God is even listening. Yet, the silence of God is not a sign of absence. It is the prelude to something extraordinary. In these quiet moments, He is working behind the scenes, aligning every detail for the breakthrough you've been waiting for. The silence is not a void. It's preparation for a victory that will redefine your life. Think of the stillness before a storm. The air feels heavy, the world pauses, and everything seems eerily calm. This silence mirrors what happens in our spiritual journey. It's in these moments that God is moving the most profoundly. He is testing your faith, strengthening your spirit, and setting the stage for a transformation you never imagined possible. The silence is not the end of the story. It is the turning point. Faith flourishes in silence. It's easy to believe when life is full of signs and miracles, But true faith is trusting in God's plan when there's no visible evidence. It's in these moments of stillness that your inner strength is forged. Challenges may seem insurmountable, but silence invites you to lean into trust, to surrender control, and to recognize that God's timing is always perfect. This quiet is a sacred space for growth and reflection. The path to victory is rarely straightforward. Often the silence feels like an uncharted wilderness, a place where doubts grow louder and hope feels distant. But remember this: silence is never the end of the story. It is in the silence that God refines you, removes distractions, and prepares your heart to receive the blessings to come. The waiting period is not wasted. It's a crucial part of your transformation. When the breakthrough finally arrives, the silence will make sense. You'll look back and realize that every quiet moment was filled with purpose. It was in the stillness that your faith deepened, your resilience grew, and your heart was prepared to receive what you had been longing for. Victory will taste sweeter because of the silence that preceded it. So, if you're in a season of waiting, hold on. Let your faith anchor you. The silence you feel is not abandonment, it's preparation. Trust that your moment of victory is near, and it will surpass everything you've dreamed. Keep your hope alive, for what's coming will be worth every quiet moment. Chapter 5. Trust. Even when everything seems against you, life often feels like a battle where the odds are stacked against you. The weight of your challenges can make it difficult to see beyond the pain, leaving you questioning if there's any reason to hold on. But here's the truth: trust is most powerful when it defies circumstances. Even when everything seems to be working against you, choosing to trust is an act of courage and faith that unlocks transformation. Trusting God doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your struggles. It means believing that those struggles are not the end of your story. It's a declaration that no matter how bleak the present moment feels, a greater purpose is being shaped through the trials. Faith thrives in adversity. It's in the storms of life that you discover the depth of your inner strength and the unshakable foundation of hope that God provides. The world may tell you that trust is futile when you're surrounded by uncertainty, but faith speaks a different language. It whispers that your setbacks are setups for something extraordinary. Trust requires you to see with your heart, not your eyes, and to hold on to the promise that every challenge is paving the way for a breakthrough. Hope is not lost. It's simply waiting for the right moment to shine. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, uncertain of how you'll cross to the other side. Trust is the bridge you cannot yet see, but it exists, waiting for you to take the first step. Each act of trust, each moment you choose hope over despair, brings you closer to the other side, where transformation and fulfillment await. This is the essence of faith, walking forward even when the path seems invisible. Your circumstances may try to convince you otherwise, but remember this: God's plans are not hindered by human limitations. What seems impossible to you is entirely possible for Him. Challenges are opportunities for growth, and obstacles are platforms for miracles. Trust is the key that unlocks the door to divine intervention, even when it feels like the door will never open. So, when everything seems contrary, lean into trust. Let it anchor you when the waves rise and the winds howl. Know that faith isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about finding strength within it. Trust that God sees what you cannot, and His plan for you is unfolding in ways you'll one day understand. Your story is not over, and your trust is what will carry you to the victory that awaits. Chapter 6. What you learn in the waiting shapes the greatness to come. Waiting can feel like one of life's greatest burdens. It's a space where doubts grow louder, patience wears thin, and the desire for resolution feels unbearable. But in the stillness of waiting, there is profound transformation happening within you. This season is not a void, it's a process. What you learn while waiting prepares you for the greatness that lies ahead, shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more equipped to embrace the blessings to come. Think of waiting as the refining fire that molds your character. It's in these moments of stillness that you develop resilience, deepen your faith, and discover the power of hope. Each challenge you endure during this time is like a stone being polished, turning it into something radiant and purposeful. This is the work of God in your life, using what feels like a delay to prepare you for the destiny you were meant to fulfill. The lessons you learn in the waiting are invaluable. You learn the strength of perseverance, the depth of trust, and the necessity of surrender. Each day that feels like a struggle is building your inner fortitude, making you capable of handling the greatness that awaits you. Without this preparation, the blessings ahead might overwhelm you or go unappreciated. The waiting is not wasted. It's a critical part of your transformation. Perspective changes everything. When you shift your focus from frustration to faith, the waiting becomes less about what you lack and more about what you're gaining. This time is teaching you to rely not on your own timing, but on God's perfect plan. It's showing you that true strength comes from within, and that hope can thrive even in uncertainty. The transformation happening now is laying the foundation for a life of fulfillment and purpose. Greatness doesn't come overnight. It is the result of endurance, trust, and a willingness to embrace the unknown, just as seeds take time to grow beneath the soil before sprouting into something beautiful. The work being done in you during this waiting season will yield a harvest of blessings. Trust that the challenges you face now are shaping a future that will far exceed your expectations. So, as you navigate the waiting, hold on to hope and lean into faith. Let the lessons you're learning guide you and prepare you for the incredible future ahead. This is not the end. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. Trust the process, because the greatness you're being shaped for is worth every moment of waiting. Chapter 7. God is the master of transforming the impossible into reality. There is no challenge too great, no obstacle too overwhelming, and no situation too broken for God to transform. He is the ultimate creator of miracles, specializing in turning what seems impossible into something extraordinary. Your life, your story, is not beyond his reach. Where you see walls, he builds doors. Where you see failure, he plants seeds of victory. God's power knows no limits, and his plans for you are beyond what you can imagine. The impossible isn't a barrier, it's an invitation for faith. When you find yourself in a place where all human effort has failed, that is precisely where divine intervention thrives. God delights in showing you that his strength is made perfect in your weakness. What feels like the end of the road is often the starting point of something greater. Trust that the very areas where you feel defeated will become the platforms for your greatest victories. Transformation begins when you let go of control and allow faith to guide you. God can take the shattered pieces of your life and create something beautiful and purposeful. Each hardship, each disappointment is a step in a divine process that leads to renewal. The impossible is not a stopping point, it is where miracles begin. Remember this, miracles are often hidden in the ordinary. They happen in ways that may not align with your expectations, but always exceed them. God works through the unseen, turning challenges into stepping stones and heartbreak into triumph. The impossibilities you face today are merely opportunities for him to display his power and love in your life. So don't limit your dreams or let fear dictate your future. You were created for a purpose, and that purpose is not bound by earthly limitations. Inspiration flows when you believe that nothing is out of reach when God is at work. Every setback, every unanswered prayer is part of a story that ends in transformation and victory. Let this truth settle in your heart. God is the master of making the impossible possible. What you've been waiting for, what you've been praying for, is not out of reach. Trust in his timing, rely on his strength, and keep moving forward. Your transformation is coming, and it will surpass anything you could have ever hoped for or imagined. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another message of hope, faith, and inspiration. Your support helps us reach more hearts and bring light to those who need it most. Thank you for spending this time with us. Remember, you are stronger than you know, and your story is still being written. Stay hopeful, stay faithful, and never stop believing in the impossible. We'll see you in the next video. Take care and be blessed.